All right, great. Okay. Hi, everybody. Again, my name is Christopher Ramirez, and this is the 5339B Discretionary Award Vehicle webinar. We will have we will have group conversations for the facility award applicants. So just to summarize the webinar's purpose, we will be talking about the 5339B discretionary webinar. I will go a little bit into the facility process of it, but not too much. We will review the vehicle portion of the 5339 discretionary award. We will discuss the vehicle information document. For everybody that participated last year, which is the vast majority of you, we will be sending out the same questionnaire that you received last time. And then we will also review important dates. So just wanted to give everybody a little bit of background information on the 5339B application process. So the NOFO, which stands for Notice of Funding Availability, Opportunity, the application was available from 5/15 to 6/21/2019. PTN applied for 6 facility development, 1 facility construction, and fleet replacement project. And the fleet replacement project specifically consisted of 256 vehicles. This was a competitive bid. Our application stayed in the range of bus and bus facility capital projects, which include replacing, rehabilitating, and purchasing buses. We were notified a couple of weeks ago on November 20th that this bid was successful. So funding, PTN received $13.8 million, the full application amount. If you guys remember from last year, we received a reduced amount than what we had asked for previously. So receiving the whole amount means that we're doing something right. So that's good to hear that we got the whole amount. In addition to that $13.8 million, PTN will also be contributing $10 million in flex funds. We will be contributing $768,000 in state funds and $4.1 million in transportation developmental credits. So the total award is going to be $24.5 million. So next steps. So what we're going to start working on now, because we're trying to hit the ground running and we want to get this money obligated and spent as quickly as possible, similar to last year, we will be sending out questionnaires starting tomorrow to everybody that is part of the fleet replacement, which is all the rural transit districts. With that questionnaire, we're going to look at which vehicles were disposed of in between May to today, and we're just going to go over maybe something else that you already had planned to dispose of. We're going to go into those questions. As far as the facility status goes, we will be meeting with all the individual agencies that are part of that particular project at the semi-annual in January. So just remember, whoever the lead is going to be or whoever you want involved in that particular project, please make sure they come to the semi-annual so that they can discuss that with PTN. So let's go to the next one. So vehicle summary facts, we will be replacing 256 vehicles. The Type 3 was the most common vehicle that is eligible for replacement. Now, how were these vehicles selected? That was a common question I got last year. So we're looking at the useful life benchmark. So ULB, we're looking at age and or mileage. So if the standard age, and I use the Type 1, for example, useful life benchmark, the traditional number is 4 years, 100,000 miles. By our calculations, we were looking at Type 1s that were 6 years and 150,000 miles, and those are the ones that we submitted up to FTA for disposition. So now, not all the vehicles were in that range at that particular time, but we ended up doing projections to make sure that we were encompassing everything that we felt would meet useful life benchmark by 2021. So average age range of the vehicles identified in this application, 8 to 10 years. We had 18 vehicles that were 14 plus years old. Just wanted to give you guys that background information. So vehicle review timeline, we're going to start this again tomorrow, December 6th, so I'm going to send out the questionnaire to everybody. Please let me know. I will include my email address at the end of this presentation, or please email your PTC as soon as you can. If there's somebody specific you want to receive that questionnaire, I'm going to use the same email address that I used for this particular invite. So if that person that you would like to review the questionnaire is not on that invite, please let me know or let the PTC know, and they'll get a hold of me, and I'll be sure to CC them when I send out that email, because we are working on a 2-week timeline. So we're going to email the questionnaire tomorrow. We're hoping to have those back by December 20th. I hope that if you have any questions or concerns about the list, specifically any type of vehicle questions, or if there was a vehicle that had been disposed and you want to substitute it for something else, that you guys do not wait till the December 20th cutoff date. Feel free to contact me before so that we can get these done. And then in between December 20th and January 10th, if we haven't spoken already, that's the time that we have reserved to discuss particular vehicle replacements if it needs to happen. And, you know, as you can see, December 20th through January 10th, those are the holidays, so keep in mind Christmas, New Year's, a lot of people are going to be off, so the sooner the better that we can have these conversations. So the vehicle questionnaire form is going to be very similar to last year's document. You're going to get a total of 4 questions. First question being, has the vehicle been replaced or is it in the process of being replaced? And basically by that question we mean, are there already funds reserved to dispose of that vehicle? Because if so, we wouldn't pay to dispose of the same vehicle twice. So that's basically what that question means. Number 2, is the vehicle currently in revenue service? Very self-explanatory. And if 1 and 2 are no, does the agency plan to put the vehicle back out into service? And then if 3 is yes, what are the agencies plan to put the vehicle back into service? So we're just asking for some additional information so that we can make a better decision regarding funding. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are a list of disposed vehicles that happen. I believe as of today, there was about 20 that was disposed in between the time we submitted our application and to today. So when you see this questionnaire, it's going to be a little different than what you saw last year, because this time I added a column that says disposed, and then you'll see a check, or I think I just wrote the word disposed in that particular box so that you can tell that this vehicle was already removed. So if that's the case for your agency, please look at your fleet and send me a list of substitutes that you would like to plug in for that disposed vehicle. But remember that substitute must not be related to any other award, must meet the same criteria as the other vehicle, so it's got to be, it has to meet the useful life benchmark in age and or mileage. And if a substitute is not eligible, as in you can't find one, then we would have to discuss additional options, and basically we would go to the next agency on the list if a substitute was not eligible. So here's the due date summary, 12/6, the vehicle list, 12/20, vehicle list due. January 10th, we're going to have the responses reviewed and substitutes accepted. And on January 17th, we're going to communicate recommended awards to the agencies. Now this is going to be, these target due dates are the first 3, but no, the first 4 are specifically related to transit. The facility schedule is going to be a little bit different than this one. However, the bottom 4 dates, the 127 e-grants opportunities open, 27 e-grants applications due, those dates are going to be the same for the facility and for the transit project. So keep that in mind, but again, I will be emailing out all these questionnaires definitely before close of business. I'm hoping to send them all out before lunchtime. So if you guys could just take a look at those and get to work on them, that would be fantastic. So wanted to talk a little bit about the co-op status. So right now, the Oklahoma co-op is not currently available. I reached out to my contract at ODOT. I'm not exactly sure what they're still working out, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be something that's going to be up within the next couple of weeks or so, as I was told previously. So if you haven't ordered anything if you haven't ordered any vehicles for the previous discretionary award, please keep that in mind. And now may be the time to start looking at alternative methods, such as a Georgia co-op, if the vehicle that you're looking to purchase is on that particular co-op, or if somebody would like to be the lead agency in a joint procurement, that might be also something worth looking into. Again, these decisions would be at the agency level, and we can only make just it wouldn't be just a suggestion on our end. On the good side, we anticipate the Texas Smart Buy being back by May 2020. I feel very confident about the specifications that we've submitted to the comptroller. We've spent a lot of hours working on this, and if you were on our review committee a couple of months back, we will be sharing those with you at a later date. So we're hoping to have some finalized specs, you know, the next couple of weeks, and then we already have a pre-bid conference scheduled that I want to say the week of January 7th. So we're moving along. So as long as nothing happens at the pre-bid conference where we find some fault in our spec that, you know, 15, 20 people looked at that nobody else saw, we should be good to go. And another reminder that the FY18 discretionary award, those PGAs will expire August of 2020. So there is a handful of agencies that have not ordered any vehicles yet. So if you haven't, I will be reaching out to you within the next couple of weeks just to determine a game plan and talk about particular scenarios on where we go from here. So next steps with the facility, and this is just a copy paste from Sarah Stroman's email earlier this particular week. So just wanted to reiterate that we will have a breakout session at the semi-annual operators meeting. We do not have a time dedicated for that breakout meeting yet, but we will update that as we schedule it. And remember, the semi-annual is going to be January 22nd, 2020. So as I mentioned earlier, anybody that's involved with this facility project, please make sure that they're there or they're available via phone so that we can make it a very productive meeting. It's going to be a group meeting. So yeah. And also, again, Sarah's email that she sent out on 12/3, you received a list of projects. So contact your PTC and begin working on that information. However, keep in mind that the award amounts that you saw in that particular email, where they're basically the best estimates at the time that we submitted this discretionary proposal. Because remember, we submitted these back in May. So just remember, it does not reflect the specific award amounts for the project. That information will come at a later date. And questions, if you have any questions or concerns about the items discussed today, give me a call, 512-486-5963, or send me an email. I will be posting the PowerPoint and the presentation online at a later date. So hopefully, maybe by tomorrow or Monday, I have to send this over to Josh. But I did get a message to go back to the timeline. So if you guys want to screenshot that real quick, and keep in mind these presented dates are subject to change, but those first three, well, those first four were 100% probably are not going to change, because we're setting out that list tomorrow. We're hoping to have all of the responses reviewed and substitutes accepted by 1/10. So if you have any questions, please send them to me in the chat box, and I will answer them right now if there's any that pop up. Otherwise, again, feel free to shoot me an email. I'll put my email address back over here. Here's my email address and my phone number. Right after this meeting, I'm just going to walk back to my desk. So feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email, and we can go from there. But otherwise, I'll stay on for another couple of minutes if anybody has any questions. If not, then have a good rest of the day, and happy early Friday, I guess, right? Friday's tomorrow? Friday Eve. Here, let me. Oh, crap. Wow, I didn't even see this.
How do I not see these? I don't see any of them.
Good to review the first few pages. Hey, Nancy. Yeah, for some reason that didn't pop up. So let me go back to the presentation. We do. So Spartan Public Transit. So to submit these applications, the FTA wants a list of vehicles. They want a proposed list of vehicles that we're going to be replacing. So that would include the license number, the VIN, the type, make and model. So we've submitted that to FTA already, and our application was based on that particular list. So yes, the questionnaire you receive tomorrow will have the list of vehicles that were submitted on for your agency as needing disposition. So actually, Nancy, if you want to just shoot me an email, and I can just email you the whole PowerPoint right now, and we should be good to go from there, so you can just catch everything.